Let's get some analysis of this pitch. Let's bring in our panel. Charles Hurt, opinion editor for The Washington Times. A.B. Stoddard, associate editor at Real Clear Politics and host of No Labels Radio on SiriusXM. And Tom Rogan, commentary writer for The Washington Examiner. By the way, welcome to Washington. This is Special Report. And Charlie, it was classic President Trump on this pitch, but clearly they're trying to emphasize the middle class part of this pitch.
Yeah, this is by far the most populist presidency that we have had certainly in modern times. I don't ever remember a president campaigning at or hosting an event with long-haul truck drivers. If there are people that fall in the category of being forgotten men in politics, they would definitely be some of them. I've also never heard a president walk off stage to Creedence Clearwater Susie Q. And all those things. I'm in favor of all those things, by the way. But I think that there are two other things that I think are sort of interesting. One is, clearly, the President Trump wants to own this news cycle, and I think this is what we're going to see going forward as he gears up for re-election. He started a speech at 5:50 in the afternoon. Obviously, he wanted to own that time period, and he wants to go around the media and talk directly to people. Second thing, obviously, he's in Pennsylvania. He's going after Bob Casey, who is up for re-election. He's a Democrat who is in a state that Trump won, and he's clearly trying to send those signals that he aims to fight for his agenda in places like that.
A.B., he turned to the lawmakers in the crowd and talking about tax reform, saying, you better pass it, and then saying they will. Let's just talk about the reality of this. Fox Business Network had an interview with Kevin Brady, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, about the timing. Take a listen to this.
The pivot is when that conference report, the House Senate has agreed on a budget and given us that firm baseline for tax reform. We will go immediately after that, lay out what's called the chairman's mark. But what it means is the Ways and Means Committee comprehensive tax reform plan with all the details. Then we'll begin the markup in the committee and House action.
But the soonest that could happen would be the last week of October, first week of November?
Yes, so I've learned a long time ago not to plot out the timing and how smoothly these things go, but that would be the perfect timing going forward.
So again, end of October, beginning of November, and just to kind of parse that further, the budget lays down exactly the numbers they can deal with and then tells them what they can negotiate on the specific percentages.
Right, and all of that squabbling is going on behind closed doors right now. You have the president trying, he has previously said it was going to be a middle-class miracle. He's trying to make the pitch that this is going to be a deep middle-class focused tax relief plan. And all of those battles that occur from the rift between the conservative wing of the party and the sort of less deficit-focused wing of the party are going on right now. And as long as you have people like Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky saying, if this provides a hit to the middle class, a tax hike, you're not going to get my vote. That's why these next couple of weeks are so pivotal, because they're really not at the details yet. There are many people that can still make the case that this is going to favor the wealthy, and it's not going to be fair enough and helpful enough to the middle class. And that's all being kept quite quiet, but it's a heated debate right now.
The House Tea Party caucus has moved forward, and they have said, we're going to support this framework. They've moved forward with the budget. The real question is in the Senate and what that all looks like. There are only 30 legislative days left before the end of the year.
And I think you see there, the president today with this address, clearly it's about rejuvenating himself. You see how much fun he has with it, the hinting of rockets, whether that's about Kim Jong-un or something else. But also, I think that knowledge in the White House, they needed legislative victory. They're running out of time. And when you get into the details of things like the state and local tax deduction and whether you can get something through without alienating Republican members in the northeast of the country, there's complexity in a limited window.
There's a Fox News poll, Charlie, that says, how important is it for Congress to pass tax reform this year? And it says extremely 22%, very 30%, somewhat 28%. In other words, people want to see something.
Oh, absolutely. And I think A.B. is exactly right. The problem we're going to see, much like we saw with health care, is going to be between Republicans, more conservative Republicans and more moderate Republicans. But the Republican leadership has to understand that they are facing a situation where, yet again, where if they don't figure out a way to come together and come up with something that and work with Donald Trump, Trump on this. Donald Trump will walk across the aisle and try to negotiate something with Democrats. And obviously that makes it a lot trickier for a lot of reasons in terms of leadership and getting Congress to do stuff. But Donald Trump is not an ideologue on this stuff. And I think that Republicans make a huge error in not doing everything they can to bring people together and get something done.